Seahawks have been active this offseason on offense. They signed tight end Gerald Everett, acquired guard Gabe Jackson through a trade with the Raiders. On defense, they signed a couple former 49ers, Akella Witherspoon and Kerry Hyder. They also made sure to bring back some key players, re-signing Chris Carson, Carlos Dunlap, Poona Ford, and signing Tyler Lockett to a contract extension. So, Mina, what about the 2021 Seahawks needs to be different from last year?
Well, Laura, I think it starts with the offense, because the great mystery of the Seahawks season last season was what happened to that explosive pass-heavy offense we saw in the first half of the season. They continued to pass the football, but it wasn't so simple as saying, well, they didn't know how to play cover two or they were missing weapons. In fact, Seattle actually has excellent skill players. They brought back Tyler Lockett and Chris Carson, or extended Lockett rather. But the personnel issues in my mind were the interior of the offensive line and tight end. They went out, traded for Gabe Jackson, added Gerald Everett out of Los Angeles. I like those moves. But it wasn't just about personnel. When you watch Seattle, the issues on offense stemmed from both scheme and, frankly, the performance of Russell Wilson as well. So when we look to this year and ask, okay, what is it going to take to fix this team? It goes beyond just adding those players. Russell needs to play better, and the offense needs to be more creative. To me, it's as much about his relationship with the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, also from the Rams, as it is about any players joining the team.
Wow.
Yeah, and Mina, I'm glad that we're holding franchise quarterbacks accountable for their play on the field, because sometimes what happens is when you poke the bear a little bit with the franchise quarterback, the retort is, well, who would you rather have? Would you rather have some middling quarterback? Would you rather be a team like the Bears right now who would move heaven and earth to acquire Russell Wilson? That's not the point. The point is your quarterback's got to be at his very best, too. None of us were talking about roster shortcomings on offense for the Seahawks in the first half of last season when Russell Wilson was the runaway winner for the NFL's midseason MVP. Defensively, I will point to some encouraging signs in the second half of the year. You can point to competition, but I think the infusion of pass rush, specifically through the acquisition of Carlos Dunlap, I thought gave them some energy and some life on defense. Yeah. I think there were guys that either were hurt like Jamal Adams last year, or players that just did not yet meet expectations for Seattle on defense that I expect to be better in 2021. And when the team has limited resources like it does this year with just 3 draft picks, not a lot of money to spend in free agency, I think Seattle's going to be counting on player development to catapult them in a very difficult division. Yes. Let's not forget, there was a time where Seattle was the standard for player development. Richard Sherman's and Doug Baldwin's and Cam Chancellor's of the world were not first-round picks. These are players that Seattle found, identified, and turned into superstars, along with their own great talents.
No, and you're right, Bill. And like I was going to mention, only 3 picks in this draft, the first one being at 56 overall. So it's not like they can just go grab Landon Dickerson from Alabama and say, okay, the offensive line's fixed. Russ can get the ball out on time to these, like Mina said, great weapons that he has. But I think another interesting point is we've seen that front office lose some people. Scott Fitterer is now the GM of the Carolina Panthers. So we've seen this before. Can teams keep that up when you start losing your good scouts? You know, when Chris Ballard goes from Kansas City to Indianapolis, when Joe Douglas goes from Philly to the New York Jets. So when you start losing those top scouts, the guys who are actually going out there evaluating the players, I think that's what will be interesting for Seattle with the limited resources. They have to hit on those 3 picks. I think we can probably expect to trade back to get more, but they do have to hit on the limited picks they have.
Yeah, Mina, when you think about maybe all of these things working together well for the Seahawks, the scheme works better well, as you were talking about. Maybe they get some depth in the draft. Maybe they get more performance out of Russell Wilson that's consistent. You know, where do they rank for you in that division, looking around the rest of the division, continuing to get better, and it was already a tough division?
Yeah, that's the real issue, Laura, because if it was in any other division, I think they would be the favorites to repeat. And by the way, Seattle won the division last year. I feel like sometimes we talk about this team and how they got to blow it up and trade Russell Wilson like they suck. They won the division. Unfortunately, the Rams did go out and upgrade a quarterback. San Francisco is going to have better health, and Arizona added some talent as well. So it's hard to pick me to return as favorites simply because of what every other team did. I think they will compete to win, but I don't think that's any guarantee they're going to repeat as NFC West winners.
Field, is the mid-season MVP a real award? I wasn't aware of that one.
I think Bill Barnwell writes it for us on ESPN.com every year. The incredible and talented and unmatched Bill Barnwell. And as far as I'm concerned, if Bill deems a topic worthy enough of writing about it online, I deem it a topic worthy enough talking about on NFL Live. And so midseason MVP, right? That counts.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.